don't know if you can hear me.
Hey YouTube, people of the universe, LJ the Juice Man here, and welcome to my conscious realm of the rabbit hole. I might have to change that in the future just because I've seen a lot of people with platforms have that saying, so I might have to change that. I'm not entirely sure, you know. Anyways, I just took a shower, so my hair definitely is wet, as you can see. But disregard that. Last edit I did, I had like this dirty ass face, and I'm not trying to do that again. So today I want to talk about sleep paralysis and my experiences with the old hag. Now, if you don't know what either of those things are, let me explain it to you very briefly. So sleep paralysis, it's when you go to sleep, right? And then you wake up and you are just unable to move, just like you're paralyzed, right? And this can last up to a few seconds to even minutes. It's when your conscious mind wakes up before your body does. And so you're in this immovable state, causing deep anxiety and even a sense of hopelessness when you're in it. Only thought you have when you're in sleep paralysis, from my experience, when I'm in this state, all my mind is telling me to do is move, come on, move, please move, finger move. And then, like, as time passes, you can get that little twitch. You know, you're trying to process it. You're trying to allow your mind to have control over your body again. So it's kind of like in that movie Kill Bill, where Uma Thurman was paralyzed from the waist below, and she just kept on trying to make her toes wiggle. That's exactly what it feels like.
Wiggle your big toe. Hard part's over. Now, let's get these other piggies wiggling.
And eventually, just as she was successful, you move your entire body and you take a big breath. At least within my experience, I take deep breaths. And for me, no matter how many times I've been through that state, you know, I always have a sense of relief after it. Now I can go on about euthanasia. I can give you the details on how it is developed, the history on it. But no, today I won't be focusing on the scientific nor the historic, what to an extent side of things. I want to explore more into the depths of the ethereal range of things, the side of the supernatural, the dimension that we cannot see with our own eyes. No, today, folks, I will be talking about my experience with the old hag. Now, who is old hag, for those of you who don't know? Well, firstly, I want to say, when you're entrapped within that state, or on the fence of both wakefulness and sleep, you tend to see things that aren't really there. You know, it can usually be associated with memory, or I would assume fear. Okay, so like for example, I remember my uncle was at war, and this was like 8-10 years ago, I believe. So he was at war, and I remember during this stage of sleep paralysis, I remember seeing him walk past the hallway into another room. He had like a luggage on him, you know. He was wearing his uniform, and in my mind, I was watching this, you know, stuck, not able to move, and I was like, "Oh, my uncle's here. My uncle's here." It genuinely felt real, but it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Now, what if I tell you that there is this evil entity that for centuries has been roaming around this state of sleep paralysis and has terrified thousands upon thousands of people. That there is countless witness accounts that have seen this demon, jinn, whatever it might be during this epidemic. People who don't even know each other, or people like me who didn't even know what that thing was prior to this incident. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and all that is in between, I am talking about the old hag. Now the old hag, from my experience, from my memory, she had the facial characteristics of both a demon and an old woman. At least from my memory, she had kind of like a long and thin face. And it was too dark to tell, but I felt like she had a cowl over her head. I'm not entirely sure about that specific characteristic, but I feel like she did. She kind of resembled that one lady from Insidious. And honestly, I thought that's where she stemmed from within my mind. I thought, you know, it was just a recollection of that moment when I watched it, and it was just becoming apparent within this stage of sleep paralysis. I had no idea who the old hag was prior to this incident, so that's exactly what I thought for a good while, that it was just that lady from Insidious, because she was an old lady, you know. She had these dark and demonic eyes, and her smile was just evil. She had these pointy teeth with black gums, just smiling directly at me. Just directly at me. She was looking at me. I remember that. And I remember she looked so joyous. She looked so happy with the fear that I had within me. So I kind of understood what caused my sleep paralysis, and it's usually when I slept facing the ceiling. A good percentage of the times that I've experienced sleep paralysis was when I was facing the ceiling. So every time I sleep, even now, I try to sleep on my back or on my side. I try to avoid sleeping towards the ceiling, obviously, for obvious reasons. But this one time, I remember I was just so fucking tired that I believe I was just watching TV. I was like laying down on my back, just watching TV, and I just fell asleep. So usually, when I go to sleep, I like to leave the TV on because I'm a pussy. You know? There's nothing more to that. So I left the TV on, but when I became imprisoned within this state of sleep and wake, the TV was off. And from what I was thinking, it was because, you know, I genuinely traveled to the further, to the upside down, to her dimension. So when I realized I was paralyzed, you know, I did usually what I had the tendency to do, which is the Uma Thurman method. Tried to just tell myself to move continuously. But while I was doing this, I felt pressure on my legs. Real pressure. Like I felt pressure coming down on my legs. And it was just moving upward. So I felt pressure on my legs, then on my thighs, then on my abdomen, all the way to my chest when I started seeing a figure take place. I fucking saw her, dude. She had like this fucking devilish grin, and she just looked content with my vulnerability, dude. And then I just kept on remembering, oh fuck, it's that bitch from Insidious, it's that bitch from Insidious, oh shit. I kept on fucking telling myself that, and remembering that fucking movie and how she took control over that guy's body. That's what I felt like was gonna happen to me. So I just kept on trying to fucking move during this state. I kept on hyperventilating, man. I mean, what? I was just trying to wake myself up from this nightmare. Then all of a sudden, this bitch had the audacity to choke me. She was laughing at me, dude, but luckily for me, I had a twitch, which is an early sign of me getting the fuck out that bitch. This was a real one. And all of a sudden, I woke up. I just let out the biggest sigh of fucking relief I have ever had in my fucking entire existence. So I didn't sleep for the rest of that night for obvious reasons. You know, I stayed up to sunrise. I was playing games. I was trying to keep myself up, man. I did not want to go back to sleep to experience that shit again. And for an extended amount of time, I really believed it was that woman from Insidious. Oh shit, I moved this camera so much. I really believed it was that woman from Insidious. Until like 6 months later, I watched this video on sleep paralysis on YouTube. It was just on my feed. And I felt, you know, I would like to be more educated on this subject and, you know, to see the relations I have with other people around the world with this specific topic. So I put it on. And then I saw her. I noticed that this was a common occurrence amongst people around the globe, and that people had the tendency to see this old woman. She was real. I wasn't the only one who experienced this old lady choking them lifeless, grinning at their vulnerability. After watching this video, I became aware that this was a common occurrence amongst people around the globe. And how can that just be a mere coincidence? How can that just be a coincidence? Like, do we tap into another dimension when we dream or when we sleep? Am I just supposed to be okay with that statistic when I became victim to it as well? How do I not believe in the supernatural after that shit? How? I guess there's just some things we cannot explain in this world or in this lifetime. I wish I had the answers for you guys, but I do not. Yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. You know, if you've had an experience with sleep paralysis, or even if you've seen the old hag, hit that like button. Why? I don't know, man. It'd be cool. You know, comment down below if you had a sleep paralysis moment. That'd be dope too. I'd be interested in reading it. I really would, honestly. If you enjoy this video and if you want to see more content from me, please hit that subscribe button. Please. Pretty please. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for coming into my conscious realm of the rabbit hole. I probably changed that, I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Anyways, it's time for you guys to return back into your dimension, your own conscious dimension. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out, much love. See y'all later.
Why did you do that? Why would you do that to me when you know how I feel about that? Why? Why?
Oh, it's just Dad beating up Grandma again. Let's try to ignore it like we always do, okay, honey? I want to be like Dad when I grow up.